But the biggest news of the week actually wasn't the results, but the victory of Vodafone and David Teoh's TPG in court over ACCC and Rod Sims. The federal court has approved the $15 billion merger of the two telco companies, despite the pushback from the competition watchdog. Sims says the move will lessen competition in the telco market and push higher prices onto consumers.
Well, that's certainly not the view from Vodafone CEO and incoming leader of the new merged entity, Iñaki Berroeta. Our reporter Edward Boyd caught up with Mr Berroeta in North Sydney.
Iñaki, what was your reaction to the federal court's decision this week?
Very pleased, very excited as well with all the plans that we have moving forward. So yeah, it was fantastic to hear the court ruling this morning.
Rod Sims is obviously disappointed with the result this week, and I quote, "The future without a merger is uncertain, but we know that competition is lost when main incumbents acquire innovative new competitors." TPG was clearly an innovative company. Are you worried now there's going to be a lack of competition in the telco market?
I actually think that by bringing Vodafone and TPG together, we have a good chance to give much more competition. You have to see that the structure of the market has a very big player, which is Telstra, which has significant more resources than the other players, and then Optus. And you know, by making Vodafone a stronger player together with TPG, that will bring ultimately the customers more choice. And by us being able to keep these two bigger players under check, you will get, you know, more competition that ultimately brings more value.
TPG had a reputation as being a low-cost provider, particularly with iiNet. Is that going to remain the same now that this merger has gone through?
Of course. I think that, you know, the strategy that TPG has followed over the years and the way that they have grown into creating this fantastic business is something that needs to continue. And I think that we will put together all the good things of TPG and iiNet, and all the customers of TPG and iiNet with what Vodafone has been doing, which, you know, being also a third player in the market, we also had to get very innovative, and we brought a lot of good products into the market. And, you know, we operate under a much lower cost structure than our competitors. And now with that scale, I think that this is all but good news. It's all good news for the customers.
Once this merger goes through, will you be still the third-ranked size telco in Australia, or will you leapfrog up to number 2 on the list?
We will be the third player in the market, and I think that we'll be a much stronger player. And, you know, what happens in the future is something that the customers need to decide, because that's what competition is about.
Will the merger lead to higher prices for customers?
I don't think that I've ever seen in a telco market prices going up. I think mobile service is a service that the quality has been growing over the years, and the value that customers get overall have been growing, and ultimately there is always an opportunity for customers to choose another option, and that doesn't leave much opportunity to raise prices. I have 25 years in this sector. I've never seen prices for customers going up.
Is there really enough customer choice out there now that we're just going to have Telstra, Optus and the new Vodafone TPG?
Well, currently there are 3 choices, and in the future you will have 3 choices with a much stronger player in VHA, Vodafone and TPG together. So definitely a better choice for customers.
How is the merger going to help Vodafone build out its 5G network? I understand TPG has already done some work in that space.
Yeah, there are a number of factors. On one side, TPG has done some work. The most important thing is the spectrum that both companies bring together will allow us to give us a much richer 5G service. And then the other thing that you need to take into account is that 5G is a technology that will leverage a lot the fixed infrastructure that TPG has. So having the ability to connect all our mobile towers with the TPG fiber infrastructure will also allow us to be much more flexible in the way that we deliver service to our customers, and more cost efficient as well.
The 5G rollout is tipped to cost billions of dollars and take years. Is it really the saviour that telcos are really hoping for?
I think that 5G is really what consumers want. I mean, consumers have a higher demand for data consumption. I mean, you can see it every day. If you take the train in Sydney, everyone is watching videos. That's something that, you know, a few years ago was impossible. Today, the networks are able to deliver incredible amount of data, and this is just growing. There are new usages like online gaming, multiple things that customers really demand, and I think that 5G is a good solution for that, and that is why we as operators must invest in this new technology, and also to make sure that Australia is at the forefront of technology.
You are going to remain Chief Executive of the new company. What are your immediate priorities?
My immediate priorities is first to make sure that we keep our eyes on the important thing, which is serving our customers every day. I think that that's the number one priority. We need to make sure that TPG, iiNet, Vodafone, we continue to deliver better service to our customers while we are merging and while we are integrating infrastructure and while we are creating more products for all these customers.
Rod Sims has just said he will leave the appeal up to his lawyers. Are you worried that they will appeal this decision?
Look, I think that an appeal is something that will delay this process, and I think the court case was quite clear. I'm hopeful that we are able to see how a stronger TPG Vodafone merger will deliver more value for this market, more value for the customers in this market, and hopefully we will be able to get on with our plans and deliver 5G as soon as possible and compete strongly in the market.
What about the Foreign Investment Review Board? They also need to approve this. Are you concerned they may not give it the green light?
No, I don't have concerns on that.
Vodafone is now going to be listed on the ASX as TPG Group. Will there be any differences in the way you need to disclose information to the market?
Well, we are not a listed company, but TPG is a listed company, and we will be listing under the TPG name. So, yeah, of course, we will comply with all the requirements. I think that even though we are not a listed company, we'll be quite generous on our disclosures, and we're willing to continue doing that because I think that that's fair business.
I've just spoken to an analyst who said in recent years Vodafone's really struggled to sign up mobile customers, and TPG's had some issues with its internet side of the business. How are you going to solve those two problems?
Well, I think that, if you ask analysts, there are all kinds of views. Some analysts say one thing, some analysts say other. To me, what is important is to understand what is the core of what each one of these companies brings. And TPG has demonstrated over many, many years that they know how to grow. And they have demonstrated over many, many years that they are able to deliver good service to their customers. And VHA has done the same. I think we have been the third player in this market. And bringing these things together and also taking advantage of all the synergies that all this infrastructure brings together, I think there is a huge opportunity for us to grow. So that's our intention.
Just want to ask you about the economic outlook. We've got weak consumer spending, soft economic growth. What is the market like in 2020 for telcos?
Well, I think that this is a very exciting market. There are, of course, a lot of things happening around the world, and you cannot ignore that. But if you look at how the service that we provide to customers is being used by our customers, there is a very good future, and there is also a very good future in terms of investment. So I think that, 2020 and beyond, our industry is an industry that will always be a very important part of people's life, and I think that that's what ensures the future.
Iñaki, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.